Well, hi Gladys, welcome. I just left Tammy's live because mine was getting ready to start, so didn't want to be late. And hi Claire, how are you? I tried to find the coolest spot in the house, so that was in the living room. Because I went to the post office today and my thermometer for the outside temperature on my car thermometer registered 113 degrees. It was only supposed to hit, I think, 105. But it's so hot you can't hardly breathe out there. And even though I got out first thing this morning, that's why I didn't do a video, because I could only water between 7 and 10. So I was out there hustling. I was running around and watering everything. And oh, I tell you what, I just soaked my clothes in sweat. So I didn't have time to move the camera around to try to video any of it. So I said, well, I'll just go live later today since I didn't go live over the weekend. We got Claire Quinn, Gladys, Slim Twiggy. Hi, Slim Twiggy. How are you? Yeah, I came in, got in the shower, and just cooled off. It took me forever to cool down. Come in here and I got something to eat and something to drink because I hadn't even eaten breakfast yet. And it was 10 o'clock by the time I come in the house. And it was by then it was unbearable outside. So I can't imagine what my plants are going through today. I still have some more I need to water this tonight, but I'm not going to do that till like 7 or 8 o'clock when it cools off, the sun's not shining. I spoke to Bloomin' and she's a diabetic. She said that she didn't want cookies. So I guess I'll not be sending her any. I thought she may have wanted them for someone else, but evidently not. She said, just send them to you, I guess. So she said you may not have known that she was a diabetic, so she couldn't eat the cookies if she had them. So that pineapple upside down cake was really good that I made. I don't know if anybody else tried it, but it was good. Really good. Too good. I've got my laptop here in front of me trying to read the comments. Yeah, Gladys, she said you probably didn't know. So she's got a lot of health problems, and on top of it, she's a diabetic. So she has to watch her sugar levels. Still early. We got 2 more minutes, or according to my clock, before 6 o'clock. So I think we're doing good. Maybe we'll get a few more in here tonight. That sun was coming so bright in behind me that I had to close the drapes, and still you can still you can see it's coming through anyway. It's so bright out there. You can do a lot of cooking in a frying pan, Claire, rather than use the oven. I can bake biscuits, I can do cornbread. Just about anything that you can put in the oven, you can put on in a frying pan. I just hope they don't get all broken up in the transport. I was kind of worried about that. I wasn't sure how, shipping them like that would be. Hopefully they'll be all in one piece. I tried to pack them real good, so. Yeah, I've never tried an air fryer, Slim Twiggy, so I don't have any experience with an air fryer. My son had bought one, and they tried it. My son said he didn't really like it. I don't know why he doesn't like it. He just said he tried several things cooking in the air fryer, and he just did not like it. I sent Bloomin' a message earlier, about an hour ago, that I was going live at 6 p.m. Central Time, if she was interested. She may have been asleep, Supreme Family Garden is giving out numerous garden seeds for free for anyone. Huh. I haven't watched their videos. I'll have to check that out. Do you know where they video at? What state they're in? This Supreme Family Garden? I'm always curious, what state, what area in the state they're from. Florida, okay. So they have better growing atmosphere than we do here in Texas. I mean, anything cooks out there on a day like today. Bags and bags full. Well, it don't cost too much to mail seeds out, because, you can put them in a regular size envelope and mail them out. Just depends on where you're mailing them to. I know it cost me $28 to send a really small package to Canada. I can't imagine what it's like to send it in other countries, because I have people like in Australia, Saigon, Vietnam, everywhere watching my channel. Some of them may not get into chat, but they do watch. Because I notice a lot of times I have a lot more people showing that are watching that are actually in the chat. That's a lot. Yeah, that is a lot for a little bitty package. Postage is pretty high nowadays. Yeah, I've got some for myself. Unfortunately, I don't need to eat them, but yeah, I did keep some. Cost you $20 to send 4 bars of soap to the States. Where are you located, Slim Twiggy? I think you probably mentioned one time. I forgot. Canada, that's right. Yeah, it's pretty expensive when you cross into Canada. And I'm streaming. I'm on Wi-Fi, so it looks like this Wi-Fi is kind of coming in and out in a little bit. I should have switched it back over to just regular cable, but I didn't think to do that. Can you see one what? Can I see? What are you wanting to see, Gladys? Hi, Gail Mitchell. How are you this evening? I hope you're cooler than I am. I know, but she's asking, can she see one, please? My son is standing here. She wanting to see the cookies? Is that what it is? Cookie? Well, let me go get them. They're over in the kitchen. I cooked a whole batch of them. So there they are. She probably wants me to hold one up. I have crumbs everywhere. There's one of the cookies. But yours is already in the mail. I dropped them off at the post office this afternoon. I just hope they don't get broke up in the transport, you know? Because sometimes they can be pretty rough with the postage, with the mail, the boxes and stuff. I sent my son, not my son, but my younger brother and his wife and 2 girls some chocolates one Christmas. And he said, well, sis, we love the chocolate. The pieces we ate, because he said by the time we got it, it was all broken up in little pieces. So since it was in the wintertime, it must have got in a cold, really freezing cold area. And you know how chocolate will get really, really hard or freeze it. And they must have kind of manhandled the box in delivering it, because he said his chocolate was all broken up. I just hope that doesn't happen to the cookies. How old is your son, Gladys? For once, I'm glad I'm not in Texas. It's 83 degrees in Colorado. Oh, 88. Oh, I'm telling you what, 88 would just seem like heaven right now. And it's going to be this way all week long with no rain. You water your plants like I did this morning. By tomorrow morning, they're going to be dry as a bone. And this heat and dry air, it just evaporates so fast. And the poor plants need that water. Eye itches. You're welcome, Gladys. I'm glad to do it. Yeah, if it's below 90, wherever, you know, anywhere that you're at, feel fortunate. Oh, I see. It's 33. He's your aide and he takes good care of you. Well, good for you. That is so nice of him to be there to take care of his mama. Need to do a rain dance. Yeah, I thought about that several times. Get out there and do a rain dance like the Indians used to do. Maybe it would rain. Colorado's getting all the rain. Oh, hi, Gail. From what I understand in the videos that I watched of the Hodges, they're getting quite a bit of rain. They need to send some of that here to Texas. Rains every 2 days. It needs to rain about every 2 days here. The garden and yard would love it. The only thing is I'd be out there mowing the yard at least once every week if it did. But still, my garden would be fantastic right now. And a lot of times, unfortunately, when you water your plants in this heat, it just cooks the plant. There's so much steam coming out of the water that it just cooks your plant. It's raining in Cincinnati? Huh. Or Connecticut. I'm not sure which. I don't even know my abbreviations, girl. Forgot where I left my cup. It's been raining in Ontario, Canada. Connecticut, yeah, Connecticut. Connecticut's where Gladys is. I think everybody around us has gotten rain quite often, except us, where I'm at. I mean, if we get rain, it's a real treat because we don't usually get rain. Like I said, this was the desert until they put that 35-mile long lake in. And now we got greenery growing all around us, close to the lake. But it's still got the climate of the desert because it's so hot and dry. The one thing I noticed when we first moved to Texas, because I've got really curly hair, it was so dry and hot here in Texas when we first moved here. The first week, my hair just started to straighten out. I said, oh my God, I can't believe it. My hair is not as curly here in Texas as it is if I'm back in North Carolina. Because it's more humid there, and anybody with curly hair, in the humidity, it causes your hair to curl up. Yeah, I had a terrible hailstorm at an outdoor concert. It just beat everyone up. Oh no, they couldn't get away. No, there's really nowhere you can run to get away from hail unless you got a roof to get under. And if you're at an outdoor concert, you had to run quite a ways to get to a roof or any type of cover, I'm sure. That was terrible. I hope the hail wasn't too awfully big. I mean, even the small hail, if you're out in it, is going to hurt. But just hope it wasn't too awfully big falling. Yeah, I got out there this morning and I said, I don't know if I'm going to make it out here long enough to get everything watered because it was so hot. And I was rushing around, beating the clock, trying to get it all done by 10. And that's the only reason I didn't have the camera out there. I just couldn't drag the camera around and keep it focused and try to get done what I needed to do in a hurry. So I said, I'll just worry about going live or the video later. So My sister's hair used to do that. Mine would go limp. I hated I didn't put the system back on cable. I left it on Wi-Fi, and I didn't realize. Poor little buddy. He was in here earlier today. He ate a big bowl of food, and then he took off. I said, well, when he gets hungry, I'll have a bowl of food waiting for him. And he come in a little while last night, laid down on the floor for a while after he ate to cool off, drank some water. Then he got up here on the couch and laid down beside me while I was watching television. But he didn't stay in too long. He stayed in about a half hour or so. And he was ready to go back outside. But he likes cooling off. He knows places to go that he can cool off. And the breeze is blowing out there, so if you're under a shade tree, it's not quite as hot. But it's still pretty warm out there. My thermometer for here right now on my laptop shows it's still 106 degrees outside. And 106 is too hot. That 113 was an inferno this afternoon. I mean, it'd just about get to you to walk from the car to the post office. Just in the parking lot. People went to the hospital. It felt like inches like snow. Huh. Oh my goodness. That's all. That was a lot of hail. Oh my goodness. Their knuckles were all bruised trying to protect their head. Yeah, he was laid in the floor all spread out because the floor is kind of cool. You know, my heating duct runs through the floor, so it keeps the floor kind of cool. So he liked laying on that. Well, I was hoping that Charlotte board tonight in chat because the post office to mail Gail's or Gladys's package. I had a sorry. I had this card that I pulled out of the mailbox. And I don't guess I should have showed that. Well, it don't have her address on the front. It's just got mine. So that was okay. Her address is on the back. But the card is from Charlene. And she's from Tyler, Texas. And it doesn't say not to read it, so I thought I'd read it and show it to everybody. It says, hello. It's a Hallmark card. It says here, my daughter subscribed for me one day when she was here. So she is a subscriber. And it says, Linda, thank you for all your gardening tips and shows. I really enjoyed it. I love seeing little Buddy with you. You remind me how it was to work in the yard. I'm 87 and my legs are weak. I have sunflower pots on the sidewalk that I can reach on my walker. Ha, she says. Sorry, I don't have a modern phone or computer. Just know you are enjoyed. And it has a heart and it says Charlene. And I won't say her last name because I don't know if she wants it known. So, yeah, that's a sweet card from Charlene. Thank you, Charlene. I appreciate it. That was a thoughtful gesture. And I'm so glad you enjoyed my videos. And I hope you continue watching them. Well, if I can get it back in the envelope without tearing it up. Yeah, that was a nice surprise in the mail. I thought I'd wait to see if she got on in chat, but she may be watching and she may not be signed in. But anyway, Charlene, thank you so much for this sweet, thoughtful card. I really like that. Michelle Marie says, hi, Linda, back from my vacation with my daughter. Hope you're well. I'm doing fantastic. It's just this heat that keeps me inside. I was running a race with the clock and the heat this morning, trying to get everything watered to where I could, get in out of the heat. I tell you, by the time I finished, I didn't know if I was going to make it to the end. Yeah, it's really nice to get something personal in the mail like that, rather than a electric bill or insurance payment statement, which that's usually all I get now, is bills coming in the mail. And I used to say, it doesn't matter what kind of bill it is, it's never going to get lost. It's going to find your mailbox. But I'll guarantee if it comes to a package or a personal mail, some of it you may never see. Well, I'll have to take that back. Because April, they did not send out a water bill. If they did, it never made it to my mailbox. And what I do is I always wait till I get the bill in the mail, and then I go in and I pay it right then I go on the website and I pay it right then off of that statement. Well, I never got one in April, so I didn't think about it. So then in June, no, it was in May, I didn't get one, but then in June, I got a statement, and it was double what my water bill usually is. And I called them before I realized it was for the previous month. It was for May and June. I said, well, I always pay them as soon as I get the statement. I did not get the statement, that's why I didn't pay it. They said, well, they were mailed out, you just didn't get it. So, I paid a double water bill last month because it was from April and May. So, I guess I'm going to have to start just checking the website if I don't get the statement in the mail. Just every once in a while, just check the website to make sure I'm not running past due. Michelle Marie, how are you? Clara Quinn, Gail Mitchell. Say, we've got 17 in here. That's pretty good. We got 7 thumbs up. Y'all need to hit that like button, the thumbs up button. 17 in here. I should have more thumbs up than that. Where'd you go on vacation, Michelle? Yeah, it's always nice to get a letter in the mail, something other than a bill statement. I haven't really taken a vacation in years. I mean, I don't think I ever really have, because when I was still married after we moved to Texas, every year when my ex-husband had a vacation, we drove to North Carolina and we spent our vacation visiting family. We'd spend 1 week at his parents up on the other side of Charlotte, North Carolina, and then 1 week with my parents. And then, of course, we came back home. But, that was good enough for me. I'd rather go see my family than to go somewhere else, and that's what we did. And I still did that every year, even after I was divorced. Every time I went home, or every time I got a chance. Sometimes it was once a year, sometimes it was once every 2 years. I'd drive home and I'd spend what time I could with my family. And then I'd drive back here to Texas. 10 more thumbs up, please. Did you remember the time? Yeah, I went out there and I did that as soon as I finished watering. I said, I've got to do it right now. I'm already hot and sweaty, so I'm not going to get any dirtier or sweatier. I'm already wet. So I went ahead and spent the extra few minutes out there tying up my tomato plants. And I got to pretty soon transplant those patty pan squash. I'm just not sure where I want to put them yet. But as soon as I plant them, I will water them with that insecticide. It's the day I plant them, right then, they're going to be watered with insecticide, because I don't want to run the risk of losing my patty pans to no squash borer bug. And I pulled a squash bug off of one of my winter squash plants today. As I was out there watering, I leaned over to it, so I got him off. I'm sorry about that, y'all. It's just my Wi-Fi. I'm just strictly on Wi-Fi right now. I forgot to put it back on cable. Hopefully I'll remember next time to put it back on cable, so maybe it'll work better. Your favorite's the watermelon? Yeah, I've still got a little bit of watermelon in my refrigerator of the one I cut the other day. But you know, I didn't get any seeds out of it. There was one or two in there, but there were little bitty tiny ones. And I guess I basically ate those. I didn't get any out of it to plant. Unless there's some bigger ones in the bowl that I got in the refrigerator now. Because I've eaten about half of it. That cold watermelon is so good. Oh, I'm going to eat a bowl of it later this evening, too. Yeah, well, it matters to all of them. If you like the channel and you're in watching it, then you always have to hit the thumbs up button. That shows YouTube that people do like the video, like the channel. Where's everybody's famous or favorite place to vacation at? Oh, you mean the watermelon in the garden? I like that too. I just hope some of them will get on the vine and be able to stay on the vine until they mature. Like that one little squash that I didn't pick it. The bugs literally chewed the stem right at the top of the little squash. And it had fallen off when I went out there to water, and I picked it up off the ground. And I could see that those squash bugs had just literally chewed the stem away from the squash, and it just dropped to the ground. Anna Watson, oh, hi, you're in Texas. What part of Texas? It's 106 degrees here right now where I'm at. It was 113 back about 3 o'clock, 3:30. Mart. Texas, but not now, LOL. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're all trying to grow, and if it was not so hot on them, and especially if I had plenty of water to keep them watered about every day, just put a little bit on them to break that heat the next day, they do a lot better. But since I can't do that, they're struggling. Oh, you're outside of Waco. Okay. I've been to Waco before. It's a pretty good drive from here, but it's not too bad. I've driven it. I've driven to Waco and back in one day, so it's not too terribly bad. I'm sweating even sitting here with the fans and the AC running. I'm still sweating because it's pretty warm in here. And I refuse to turn the stove on tonight. About the ice cubes, yeah. I can't make that many ice cubes. I don't have anywhere to store them. And I've only got 2 ice trays that I can make them in. The walker, and I don't get around very well. I miss it so, Linda. I just miss it so. Oh, I know, Anna. When you love to do something like gardening, and then later when you get so you can't do it. I know you struggle with that. You just want to be out there so bad. I know exactly what you're talking about. When I was down with my back and leg here a couple of weeks ago, that like to drove me crazy because I just wanted to get up and go do something. But every time I tried to get up, I couldn't put weight on my right leg because I was in dire pain every time I did. And it was a little scary, but I had to take it easy, and finally I got straightened out. And, it's better now. I'm up walking around, but still I've got to be careful. When I'm watering my plants with my compost tea, I've got that little yellow bucket that I've showed you in some of the videos. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 1.5 gallons. If I'm stretching it, it might hit 2 gallons. I'm not sure. But that's what I use to water with. I just dip it down in my 5-gallon bucket, and then I take that little yellow bucket around, and that's what I water my plants with. Because I can't carry anything heavier than that. I'd be down with my back again if I did. Michelle says, the last time I was in Texas, Houston, it was about 108 degrees. Never again. Well, it hit 113 here today. And I remember when I went to Walmart earlier to pick up a few things, and it was about 3 o'clock. And I parked a long ways away from the front of the store. I'm back out at the very back side of the parking lot because I don't want to park up front where all the cars are in and out, and the handicap places are, because I don't want to run the risk of somebody hitting my car again like they did before. And man, I got out of that car and I started walking across that parking lot to go to the store, in the front of the store. And I said, man, it's so hot out here, I can hardly breathe. By the time I got in the door, man, I was ready to sit down. And I said something to the girl that was there, the door greeter, she was at the door. I said, man, it is hot out there. You can almost pass out walking across the parking lot. She said, yeah, it's supposed to be 113 today. Well, it hit 113 because that's what my car thermometer was on for the outside temperature. Yeah, oh my God. And it's going to be hot like this all week with no rain. So you can't do a whole lot outside. And I said, that's hard to remember. Watch what you're doing. Go on Friday to get shots in my joints in my back and waiting to get a knee joint replacement. I feel for you, Ann. I know that's terrible. I don't have problems with my knees. All my problem is with my neck injury and my lower back injury. And that can make you hurt all over your body at different times. Just depends on what nerve is pinched in your neck or your lower back at the time. My ex-husband just had surgery on both of his knees, and he got along great and he was up walking fine, but he fell after that and injured himself again somewhere in his lower back, and the doctor said there's nothing they could do. They can't do surgery on it to correct it. So he's now walking it with a walker. But he was 8 years older than me, so he's 83. Okay, Blair, you have a good night. I know I was working in the garden one day, and it was a couple of years ago, and I had bean poles up for my beans to climb up, and I was going to move all that to a different part. I didn't want the poles up there anymore, and I took all those down, and I had my flip-flops on. Wrong thing to wear working in the garden. It's better to be barefoot than to wear flip-flops. But anyway, I gathered up all those wooden stakes, and I started down through the archway where I have to step down the step, and the end of my flip-flop on my right foot caught the rock on the ground, and it tripped me. And I had my arm full of poles, and I just let go of them, and I reached for the ground, and I landed on all fours. But it was rocks, and man, the impact of falling like that, and all of your weight going on your knees and legs and your hands. Oh, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get up. So I try not, if I'm going to do anything at all in the garden other than just walk around, I don't have my flip-flops on anymore. I'll put on my boots, or I'll put on my sports shoes. Yeah, back injuries are horrible because, even though you have surgeries, you still have problems. Surgeries is not a 100% cure-all or fix. And my brother found that out recently because he just had back surgery. And he said, he's doing okay. He's walking straight where he was humped over before because the pain was so bad if he tried to straighten up, he couldn't walk straight. He'd have to hump over. And finally, he got surgery when he moved to Tennessee. And the last time I saw him, he was walking straight up, which looked so much better now than before. He said, yeah, I'm walking up and I'm doing a little bit better, but he said, I still have a lot of problems with it. I said, well, people just don't realize that surgery is not 100% fix for anything. I mean, it can get you better, but you'll still have problems, and you still have to watch what you do. So, Annie, let's see, I'm 70 and the doctor told me I would be on a walker the rest of my life because I have topography in both legs, in both feet. Huh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Annie. Or Anna. I got a glare on my screen and this typing is not showing up very well. Yeah, I sent a message to Bloomin' about an hour before I went live, and I told her I'd be going live at 6 p.m. Central Time if she was interested. But she knows she doesn't have to come online. If it's up to her. Let me see if she even replied to the message. I didn't think to check to see if she replied to it at all. I don't think she has. Yeah, see, I sent the message to her at 5:04 my time. So that was an hour before I was to go live. And she was active 37 minutes ago, but she didn't acknowledge the message. She didn't post an answer to it or anything, or any kind of comment. So I don't know if she saw it or not. I didn't see her in Tammy's live either. I mean, you know, I was in Tammy's, but until I was to go live, and then I had to get out. But I noticed I didn't see her there either. Gail says, I broke my wrist skating with my granddaughter last year. Had to have surgery and plate put in. Still struggling in the garden. Oh my goodness, that's awful. To do something like that, to enjoy time with your granddaughter and have to break your wrist while you're doing it. That's terrible. It's a shame that had to happen. Oh, the way my knees and the bone between my knees and my foot hit the rock in that pathway. I thought I'd broke both legs. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get up, but I just kind of stayed there for a few seconds and, you know, got my wits about me, and I was able to get up and walk to the house, and I had no problem with pain or anything walking. I was just so, I don't know, my whole body was in a state of shock, I think, from the way I fell and the trauma of hitting and the weight, the impact of my weight, jarring my neck and jarring my back, my spine. Till it took me about a month to be able to walk around normally, even though I was up walking around. There's Bloomin'. Hi, Bloomin'. I told everybody you were probably napping. Gladys was asking about you. Oh my gosh, Linda. I'm glad to see you came in, Bloomin'. I was wondering because I knew I'd sent you that message. Yeah, she was asking about you. Gail says, turns out I can't do a backwards flip. Well, don't feel bad. I can't do one of those either. I don't think I ever have been able to do something like that. Never even thought about trying. Yeah, I kind of had bruises on my knees and my leg and everywhere from falling. Tried to skip, but my foot wasn't coming off the ground. I'm not laughing because you got hurt. It's just the way you said that, it was funny. You weren't either. It was last summer. I don't know if it was the spring or fall of the year. I think it's when I was trying to get my garden straightened out last year and deciding where I wanted to plant things. And I pulled up those bean stakes that I had put out for the beans to climb up, or bean poles. And I just had an armful of those bean poles in my hands, and started to go through the little archway, you know, that trellis, the archway where you step down right out here going into the garden. And as I got right to the step to take a step down, I went to pick up my right leg, my right foot, and the end of the flip-flop caught the bottom of the rock that's on the right side. And of course, it just tripped me and sent me flying down that step. So instead of stepping down the step, I fell down the step, and I caught with the palm of my hands down, and I caught on my knees and mid-leg on those rocks. And I've got wood chips covering all those rocks right now. I said, at least if I fall, it'll halfway cushion it a little bit to have those wood chips on it. But I tell you, just putting your hands down like that, straight, and you fall with your full weight on your hands and your knees and legs, it puts quite an impact on your spine and my neck, where my neck injury is back there. So I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get up or not. But I stayed down there a few minutes and finally pulled myself together and managed to get up. Needless to say, bean poles anymore. I think most of them I use now, I put in my totes, and they're tomato trellises, the teepees that I tie at the top. And I plant peas out in the back on that kind of a pyramid, the trellis that's like this, so the peas grow up each side. The only thing that went up and down was your boobs and stomach. It didn't bother my boobs or stomach, but I tell you what, when I hit, my full body weight landed on my hands and my knees and the shins of my legs. Oh, it hurt. I had indents in my legs for weeks and weeks after that. My daughter-in-law looked at my legs and she told my son, she said, she cracked the bone in her leg, or she wouldn't have indents in her leg like that. But I was up walking around, it didn't hurt to walk. Wow, TTT Sharon. It was 113 here today. It's still 106 is what's showing on my computer. So it dropped down to 106. But I'll take 106 any day than 113. Well, there's Wilkes County boy. Looks like he's keeping his head above water. All that water down there where he's at, getting all that rain. Man, I wish we had some of that rain up here. We're so dry and hot, it's unbearable. Yeah, I mean, when you land on the floor like that, or the ground, and your full body weight hits, oh my God. It puts trauma to your spine and your neck. And like I said, I was wondering if I was going to get up and walk after all that, but I did. Well, we'll still fighting all that flood water your way? Oh, you're in Navarro County. I think most of Texas is pretty hot right now. Yeah, we need some of that water, Wilkes County boy, desperately. My yard is so dry, it's like powder. My plants are suffering. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My neck and my back and everything took such a jolt when I fell that I didn't know if I was going to be able to get up and walk away. It took me a minute or two, that's for sure. Yeah, your shoulders and everything take an impact when you catch yourself with your hands and your legs like that, knees down, oh, it just puts such a jar on your spine and your neck. Need to put aluminum foil. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of homes out here that do that. I saw plenty of mobile homes when we first moved to Texas years ago. And I thought that was kind of strange. Everybody's got aluminum foil on their windows. Or they got the you know, that, what do you call it? It's that silver insulation. It looks like aluminum foil, but it's made to go on windows to block the heat from coming in or the cold. Yeah, shiny side out. That would be that silver side out. Oh, I tell you, my poor plants they swivel up all day long, and then at night they'll pop back up, you know, like finally the sun's gone. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep them all alive this week, I tell you, with no rain. Reflectix, that's what I was trying to think of. Thank you, Jody. I couldn't remember what they called it. Reflectix. I tell you what, temperatures like this will make you keep water, lemonade, or something handy all the time. Because I can't get enough water to drink. I think I sweated off 10 pounds out there this morning. Wills County boy says, I fell off my ladder when I was 4 years old, tried to catch myself from hitting the ground with my hand broke my wrist. My hand, it broke my wrist. Yeah, you can hit pretty hard. You hit just right, you could break your arm even, not just your wrist. And like I said, everybody thought sure I'd broke both of my legs or cracked the bone in them because I had an indent in my leg for a month. I mean, I've got a little bit of an indent in them right now. I mean, if you can run your fingers along the top of my leg going down to my foot, and you can feel a small indent still. But I don't think anything broke. I don't think I'd have been able to walk if I had. Yeah, I bet everything is green where you're at with all that rain you've had, Wilkes County boy. You've had a lot of rain. Those are some big trees floating down that river or jammed right there at the little crossing over the river. I mean, it took quite a bit of water to move those darn trees. They were big. Huh. You've been wearing a splint on your little finger? Got to be careful. For 9 weeks you've been wearing a little splint? My goodness, it looks like I wouldn't know. I've never had to wear a splint, so I don't know about how long it takes. I had a automobile accident, and it dislocated my shoulder and cracked my arm bone just from the shoulder down a little ways, and just cracked it. And they couldn't put me in a cast because they said the way it split, a cast would not do any good. So they basically put me in a sling and had it like wrapped around my body at first. And then later it was just a sling. And I had to leave it in that sling all the time, except when I was trying to take a bath or something. And it stayed in a sling. I don't know for how many weeks, but the muscles literally shrank. Or it got so I couldn't even straighten my arm out. I mean, I could take my hand and push against my arm, and it still wouldn't straighten. And I had to work with it for several weeks. to get my arm straight, straight, and then work with it to get it to bend and get my muscles back in shape after the bone healed. So I can't imagine being in a cast or a splint for as long as 9 weeks. You could have to exercise that little finger to get it back in shape when you get it out of that splint. It's not going to want to move. Gail says, I stole my brother's, whoops. That got on by me. Get back down here. Gail said, I stole my brother's 10-speed bike, went across the bridge. The tire got stuck in the wooden plank, and I flipped off in a Raven, broke my arm in 3 places, and I was more worried about my brother. Isn't that something? Even though she broke her arm in 3 places, she was worried about her brother. You were probably worried about what he was going to do because you took his bike. Yeah, did he get mad at you for stealing his bike? You gotta pass, yeah. He knew you got hurt. You didn't mean no harm with his bike. You just wanted to ride it. Yeah, that would be pretty uncomfortable to break your arm in 3 places. Well, that's the only time I broke any bones was in that car accident, and it dislocated my shoulder and split the bone just from the top down a little ways. Not far, but yeah, they didn't put me in a cast. Said there was no need to. Oh, wow. Broke your heel bone. Well, that meant you couldn't put your weight down on your foot, so you couldn't walk. Crutches for 6 months. Wow. That's a long time. Oh, wow, you broke your little finger. And you fell. Your sister done all the crying for you, Wilkes County boy? That's funny. I heard that. Not funny. I walked that bike all the way home to cover it up. I'm surprised you could have walked the bike home if you had your arm broke. My goodness. Oh, I see. Lupus keeps you from healing very fast. Yeah, I could imagine it was painful. A Wilkes County boy, I'll trade you some of this 113 temperatures that we had today for some of that rain that you got. physical therapy on your little finger. It says. No, you need to trade with me. You need to take some of this temperature and give me some of that rain. It's too hot in Texas for anything, especially when it doesn't rain any. Well, that's terrible. You hurt your finger, that's why you can't make a tight fist. I know I've got arthritis, but it doesn't really bother me, except it makes my joints a little stiff. It doesn't really hurt. I mean, I can tell I've got it in my fingers because I can make a fist and I can feel the stiffness in my knuckles, or these bones right here. They feel like they're swollen, or something. They're real stiff when I try to close them. On both hands, it's like that. Blooming, you had a lot of broken bones? Oh my goodness. I guess I've been lucky. I've not had broken bones. I guess I've had pretty healthy bones. There's I'm just noticing. Wilkes County boy says I broke my wrist, foot, and thumb. Oh, I hope not all at one time. All at one time. I can't imagine. Well, I guess if you're going to break bones, you just get them all broke at one time and heal all up at one time, and then forget about it, as to break one today and go through all the healing process, and then later break another one and have to go through all the healing process. Yeah. I don't think casts would be fun at all. I've heard people talk about them itching, especially if it's on their arm, and they'll take something and run down inside there trying to scratch their itch. I said, that would be terrible. I'd be taking a hammer and breaking that cast off my arm, unfortunately, or try to cut it off. And I can't imagine being in a leg cast. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can imagine they are. That's what I just said, that the people that I know that have been in a cast are always, saying they're itching inside, and they just take anything they can stick down between their arm and the cast to kind of get down in there and scratch the itch. And it's like it'd stay awfully hot in there too. When you broke your thumb, you left the cast on for 1 month and you cut it off yourself. You sound doing like you do, like something I would do. You were lopsided, Blooming. I can't imagine. Having your left leg and your right arm in a cast at the same time. That would be terrible. You had to have somebody wait on you every day, all the time, really. And I can't imagine what what you went through going to the restroom. Isn't that something to think about? You were in a car accident. But I can't imagine. I mean, you can't get up and walk. Just about have to use a bedpan, but then that would be kind of tricky being in an arm cast and a leg cast at the same time. Well, you sound like you did something I would do, Bloomin', but you know what? If he was that way, you should have just left them dirty. If he ran out of dishes and cups and glasses to eat out of and drink out of, sooner or later he might have washed one. Or throw them at him. Yeah. Throw the dirty dishes at him. Yeah, I figured if he went in the kitchen and he couldn't find a clean plate or anything to eat out of, he might wash one of them. I didn't even go to the doctor when I fell in the backyard. I said, well, I'm all right. I'm just bruised up a little bit. I'll be fine. So I just took it easy for a couple of weeks. But I still think that's one thing that I have trouble with now with my back. It was so easy to go out that day I was using the weed eater in the backyard. It's because of that fall in the backyard that day. It did something to my lower back that put it in a situation to where it was easy to dislocate my lower back. I fixed a new recipe chicken pie for supper. It was so good. Oh, it sounds good. You didn't send me any. I haven't had a chicken pie in years and years and years. I need to fix one. You tripped into the boat head first. Oh, the memories. I can imagine. Did you do a video on your chicken pie, Wilkes County boy? You did a video on it. Well, maybe I'll find your video and watch it and see what you put in it. Could probably get the recipe off of your video. I used to buy those little frozen pot pies off and on once in a while, but it's been years and years since I bought one of those. I love the beef pot pie and the chicken pot pie. The chicken pot pie was my favorite. So I may have to try that. Jody Jackson. Oh, Wilkes, I'll check it out. Oh, really? Well, I've checked out one or two of his cooking videos, but I've been mostly watching here lately the ones on all the rain they got and all that flooding along the river. I know they're not the same anymore for some reason. I guess it just depends on what brand you can buy. You have to go through trial and error, and you find one you like, stick with it. I just haven't bought any pot pies in so many years. It's unreal. Jody says, oh yeah, he makes good food. My boys live to cook. My ex-husband cooked quite a bit. I mean, he was always grilling out on the weekends, and he was smoking brisket, on the weekends, stuff like that. And there was times he would be cooking in the house too. I mean, so I didn't have to cook every single meal. He did cook. That just wasn't our problem. You watched him do a Julia Child's recipe? Oh, and that is something I would want to see. I'd love to see that. Yeah, maybe he needs to get him a food truck. Oh, goodness. I feel so bad for you, Gladys. You had a fractured hip from falling along with not walking. My doctor wanted to do an operation on my hip. Said, no way, no more operations. I missed that one, watching him clean out the drainage ditch. I bet he found all kind of stuff down in there. Might have found some things he didn't want to find. I used to love to watch the Julia Childs because I thought she was so funny. And she was always drinking her wine while she was cooking. So she felt good. She didn't care how that turned out. Yeah, a whole lot of mud. I'm sure you did get a lot of mud out of that drainage ditch. Trying to see over here how long we've been on here. And Watson said it was sweet, Jody, and it's nice to have a friend named Watson. My best friend in high school growing up, last name was Watson, and we just recently connected. Well, that's good. It's nice that you reconnected with a friend. Yeah, I've got so many videos that I want to watch. I don't have time to watch them all. Because I have friends that I subscribed to before I ever started watching Helen Wyatt's videos. And then after I started watching her, Steven started. So I started watching his, and then I started watching Tammy's and Danny's, and there's just not enough time in the day. Because I'd never get anything done if I just stayed here and watched videos all day long. My garden would definitely be neglected. Oh my goodness, 46 years old, and he passed away yesterday. Yeah, that just shows you, you never know. The age does not determine the day you're going to go and meet your maker. Nobody knows. It just happens. Yeah, I was watching that too just before my live. The only reason I got out of that, well, it was Tammy's live, and her and Danny drove over to Stephen's property where they were laying out the stakes, I guess, kind of mapping out where his house foundation was going to be. I was watching that until I had to get off and start my live because I already had it scheduled. 2 heart attacks back to back. That's awful. So young to die. I mean, yeah, it's about that time, Bloomin'. Yeah, I feel fortunate that I've lived as long as I have. I mean, some people just don't ever, you don't know. Like I said, there's infants that die every day. There's young toddlers that pass away. There's young elementary students that die. There's intermediate school kids that die. High school kids that die. You just never know. You can be in perfect health today and be gone tomorrow for some reason. That's just something that we don't know the plan of. Only our good Lord above knows the plan for that. Yeah, it looks like you could kind of plan out your diet or your meal to know how much sugar is in what. But that would be awfully confusing to me, to have to measure and weigh out everything, every meal, to make sure I was getting enough sugar and not too much sugar. I can't imagine being a diabetic. That's terrible. I can imagine, Wilkes County boy. Sorry to hear all that's going on. Yeah, I can imagine it is. Since I've not dealt with that, and nobody in my family that I've ever known of has had diabetes. So I didn't grow up around it, and I just can't imagine how you struggle every single day with what you eat. I know when I was working as a substitute teacher, I worked in all the schools from kindergarten through 12th grade. And I even got to sub for the nurses several times. And I'd have these little boys, elementary kids, coming in the nurse's office to do a sugar test, the blood test that the diabetics have to do. And little guys come in and they know the routine, they can do it themselves. And I was just totally amazed at them being so young and they're so in control of their problem, their health problem. But they come in sometimes before lunch to check their blood level. Other times they come in after lunch to check, to make sure, that it was okay, that they didn't get too much sugar or they got enough. I mean, that's just terrible. And when I was in school in not elementary, it was the beginning of intermediate school, I think, in the school I was in North Carolina. We were all out on the playground one day, I think playing baseball or something, and one of the girls just passed out on the ground. None of us knew what was going on, but some of the teachers knew she was a diabetic. And one of them ran inside and had an orange, and she cut the orange in half and got a hunk of it and brought it back out and squeezed the orange juice in the girl's mouth. And after a few minutes, she was okay. but her sugar level had dropped so much that she just passed out. Oh, wait 2 hours. So I guess they came in and checked it before they went to lunch. I knew they came in quite often to check it, so I guess it was before they went to lunch, so they kind of knew what to eat. Yeah, only 46. That's way too young to pass. Can't imagine. I mean, my sister-in-law I grew up with in North Carolina. We knew one another all through school. I mean, elementary, intermediate, high school. And then when her and my brother graduated, my brother enlisted because it was time. Back then, they had a real bad draft going on. And my brother says, I know they're going to draft me. So my two older brothers decided, instead of being drafted and being put in a branch of the service that they didn't want to be in, they just go ahead and join. So both of my older brothers signed up for the Army. One of them went to Germany, and one went to Vietnam. It was during the Vietnam War over there. And she passed away Christmas Eve morning. And it was a shock to the whole family. I mean, I was in a state of shock over it that whole week. No, you don't. You never know. But she had suffered for so long. I don't know what the health problem it was, but she was in so much pain. And the doctors would give her pain meds, but none of them did any good. The only one that did her any good was one that would knock her out, and she didn't hurt while she was asleep. But, she couldn't sleep 24/7. Nope, you sure don't. That's why I've always said I've lived every day the best of my ability. Not only to get out and do what I can do, but I treat others with respect. I hope that they treat me the same way. I don't do anything that I shouldn't do, because you never know when your day is going to come. And I said, at least I'll be pure in heart. I'll know in my mind, whatever day that I pass, I'm going to be right with the good Lord above. I'm not going to have anything to worry about. You go right ahead, Bloomin'. You listen and you feed your face. I ate a banana sandwich before I went live while I was watching Tammy, because I said, I know if I don't eat something before I go live, I'm going to be too hungry going through all this, and I'll have to stop and get me something to eat while my live is going on. Yep, that's all that matters. I mean, there's some people out there that every day they're up to no good. So you know where they're going when they die. Their soul is going straight down. Scrumptious tacos. Oh, that sounds good. I haven't had a taco in months. It's been several months since I've had a taco. Probably a good 6 months or more. Because the last thing I ate in that line was burritos, and I made the burritos myself. You put mayo on it, on your taco? I don't put mayo on my tacos. I like sour cream and cheese and stuff like that on it, though. It's so awesome she can't put it down to talk. You're making me hungry, Bloomin'. Give me a taco. And he says my grandmother on my mom's side passed away from diabetes. So that's something that runs in your family. Slow down, take a deep breath. Too Tall Rob, welcome. I didn't see you earlier. Well, I see your name's up here a couple of times. Hello to Too Tall Bob. I did take a deep breath up. Now I can take another bite. How's them raccoons doing? I don't know if, I guess a lot of people have the raccoon problem. I've got raccoons, possums, armadillos. And I know last year they were eating melons and squash out of my garden. Because I found one that just completely disappeared. The other one beside it was half eaten and left on the ground. So I know an animal did it. You could see the little bite marks in the melon. I'm doing great, Too Tall. Rob, how are you doing? You were doing good until somebody said tacos. I know Bloomin's got tacos now. I want tacos. I might have to run out and pick me up a couple of tacos after my live is over. Well, I wouldn't mind feeding them, but they eat my garden up, so I don't really want them in my yard. And the possum, he keeps coming up on the porch where I put little buddy's food bowl and water bowl out. And I caught him out there the other night. He was up on the porch going to eat little buddy's food. So I started paying more attention, when I feed little buddy to make sure he gets it and the possum doesn't. The birds were chewing on your stuff, Gail? So far, I've not seen where birds have bothered mine. I mean, I keep bird seed out in 2 feeders for all these wild birds. So they pretty much leave the garden alone. I've never tried a fried banana sandwich. But I know that was Elvis's favorite, a fried banana sandwich. Bread, spread slices with a bit of butter and bananas and sprinkle with brown sugar and fry bad. That's so good. I think Elvis used to put peanut butter on his, didn't he? Didn't he put peanut butter and bananas and then fry them or something? I don't know. I've never tried it. I don't know if I'd like it or not. I mean, I love bananas and I love peanut butter. So I guess they'd go good together. I just never tried it. Watch the Raccoon Whisperer. I'm doing good. I got 25 thumbs up out of what, 29 people. Bloomin's eating tacos, Anna. Or Annie. It's Anna. I can't see the letter. It's Annie. Annie Watson. Bloomin's eating the tacos, and she's making all of us hungry. Yeah, I'll watch some of his videos too. I'll have to see what this Raccoon Whisperer is all about. Thea Taylor, Natural Life, welcome. Glad to have you. Oh, thank you so much, Gail. I appreciate that super chat. I love that flying bird. You're fine. You need to eat if you're feeling lightheaded. That means you need some sugar in your body, Bloomin'. Well, I thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Super bird. It's supposed to be Gail flying. You think so? Well, we're happy to have you, Althea. Yes, we're small in numbers, but we're very friendly. My numbers will grow. Gail says you're going to be mad, but it's fixing to rain. Just send us a little bit. Cassie Joy concert links can be found on my playlist, okay? It's good to know. Well, have a good evening, Wilkes County boy. I'm glad you came by. Send some rain. Yeah. Texas desperately needs that rain here where I'm at. My poor plants are suffering. They're cooking in the pot and the tote. Love and kindness and prayers for you too, Wilkes County boy. And we've been on here, what, about an hour and a half or more. We just need to tell all our friends about Linda's channel. Yeah, please do. I need more subscribers. I need more people to watch and chat and get into chat and watch my videos. And you know, one thing happened to me last night. I think I had mentioned it in some of my other videos that I ordered gas, propane for my tank out here because I cook with propane. My water heater is propane. My furnace is propane. And I've got a 500-gallon tank. Well, I have a little electric fireplace as a backup heat, and it throws out a lot of heat just so I don't have to run the furnace as hard. Well, so I usually fill up my tank once a year. It'll get down to about half or a little bit less than halfway, and then I'll call and have them to fill it up. Well, if you get at least 200 gallons, you get a discount. But they send out a card every year telling you, like this year they sent it the beginning of May, and they said if you order your propane and do a fill up by the end of the month, you get the gas for $2.25 a gallon. Well, that means I'll get it for $2.25 a gallon, plus if it's 200 gallons or more, they'll give me another cut off of it being 200 gallons. Well, so that should run about $250, a little bit less. No, $450 or a little bit less. I go online on their website last night to see if they had posted it yet. Because I've been on there almost like every other day or so checking the website to see if they posted it yet, and they never did. And I was beginning to worry about it. Well, finally last night before I went to bed, I checked the website. They had posted it, but they had $609 as the charge. They charged me $3.04 or $3.09 or something like that. I don't know. A gallon. So I had to call them first thing this morning, and I told them, I said, I just wanted to call and tell you that you posted the wrong price on the gas I ordered. I said I ordered it right after I got the card in the mail, because they'll send you this little postcard. It's from Ferrogas, and it states that, you know, get your propane for $2.25 a gallon if ordered by the end of the month if you fill your tank. So I always wait till I get that card because I know I can save money that way. And then I called and ordered my propane, and I wanted it full. And I was down a little bit less than halfway. So, yeah, I had to call them and tell them, no, you know, you put in the wrong thing. And the woman apologized, and she said, well, the driver didn't know that you were supposed to get the lower price. I said, well, evidently the lady that I talked to when I ordered my propane, when I called, did not enter it into the account, because I told her that was why I was calling, is because I had just received the card that told me I could get it for $2.25 a gallon to fill up my tank. And then, like I said, if it's over 200 or 200, at least 200 gallons or more, you get it for an even lower price. So my bill should not be even $450. It should be a little bit less than that, not $609. So she said they would correct it, and it should be straightened out by tomorrow in the system. So I'll check tomorrow and see. Because, you know, $450 some or $440 is still a lot of money to come up with at one time to pay a gas bill. Thank God it's just once a year. Oh, you're in Junction City, Kansas. You're going to have a 4th of July shindig. If you're in the area, come down. I don't think I'll be around Junction City, Kansas. I've never even been to Kansas at all. Well, we got several hailstorm warnings, and people around me got bad hail and big hail, but I didn't really get any here. I did hear ice falling in the last rain we got, but it was just a tiny bit, just enough that you noticed it was not just water dropping. It was ice. But as soon as I started hearing it, it disappeared. So we didn't really get any hail here, thank goodness. Because I've had it hail on my gardens before, and it'll tear your plants up if it's very big. I mean, it can be just little bitty hail, and enough of it falling for long enough, and it will destroy your plants. It'll tear your leaves all up. Linda, how many likes do I have now? It shows that I've got 28 watching, and I've got 28 thumbs up. I know, it's usually so hot. I'm surprised it makes it to the ground too. And I guess a lot of times it does melt before it makes the ground. But if it's very big, like we've had golf ball size hail, baseball size hail, softball size hail that came through the roofs in Dallas. I mean, people literally had balls of hail as big as a softball laying in their living room carpet, where that hail come through their roof, just literally knocked a hole clean through their roof and came into their living room and was on their carpet. Now, you don't want to get hit in the head with one of them things. That you're gone for sure. I mean, a hunk of ice as big as a softball falling from the sky, you definitely don't want to be under it. Yeah, it sure would. That's the reason it come through the roof up there. I mean, these are brick homes, and the hail was so big and was coming down so fast with such force that it just put a hole right through the roof, and the ice was in the living room carpet. Althea, you want to be a moderator? Let's see. How's that? Yeah, maybe I jumped the gun on that. I don't know. Like I said, I'm new to having my channel and going live and all this stuff, so I'm not sure how long people should be in chat before you make them a moderator, unless you know them beforehand. Like Gladys and Bloomin', I'm familiar with those two because they were in, and Wilkes County Boy as well, because they've been in several other live chats that I've been in, so I was familiar with them. I don't know about Althea. I don't know that I've ever seen you in chat before, but we can try it. If it doesn't work out, it's easy enough to change, but hopefully we won't have a problem. Oh my God, 90 miles per hour winds last Thursday. Lost several trees. Garden was hammered hard. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Oh, okay. Well, good deal. You watch me taking care of my plants. Well, that's good. I like people to watch. That's what it's all about. I don't think anybody would have wanted to seen me this morning running around my garden and sweating. My clothes were drenched. I couldn't wait to get in the house and just strip and jump in the shower. I threw a load of clothes in the washing machine, just stripped down and threw them in the washer. They were just so wet you could wring the sweat out of them. Well, hopefully I'm not going to need moderators, but it doesn't hurt to have a few. Yeah, hopefully I won't get anybody in here bad-mouthing anybody or threatening people or anything like that, but Connie Jones, good Lord, thank goodness, and your loved ones are fine. I know 90 miles an hour winds, that's nothing to joke about. I mean, that's some serious wind there. Well, it looks like I've been live for 114 minutes. Are y'all getting tired of this? Y'all have other things to do? Little roof damage on one window blowed out. Wow, blowed out. Yeah, it's always good to have a mod. At least that way, people know what mods are. Their names are always highlighted. If someone we don't know comes into chat and they're up to no good, they might think twice before they say anything or type anything in that's inappropriate, because they know that the moderators can just get rid of them. Yeah, it's good to have mods when you're having a live video, because you never know what strange person will come into your chat. Yeah, I kind of jumped the gun on that because, I don't know Althea, but someone you know and trust, if they're a bad mod, they would go through and wipe out everyone in chat. Yeah. That is true, Bloomin'. I wasn't thinking. I acted kind of hastily there. Hopefully Althea will be a good mod. Because I agree with Bloomin', you can get the wrong mod in there and they can destroy your channel real fast. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of winging all this myself because I haven't been going live that much. And that has happened. Well, I'm not going to be making anybody else mods for a while. I'll know who the next one is before I turn them into a mod. And I'm not saying anything against Althea because, I don't really know Althea. It's all good. I typed something, tried to move it, and it just wouldn't. It's all good. I typed something, tried to remove it, and it just wouldn't. That's why I asked to be a moderator. So, do you want to be a moderator or not, Althea? Yeah, she just retracted 2 statements that she had printed in, or retracted them. So I don't know. Do you want to be a moderator, Taylor? I mean, Althea Taylor? Or no? Or was it just to retract something you typed in? Well, I don't know if she's still there. It should be a necessity, because there and then it's easier to go to someone else's channel. It's all good if you let me. Jody, wouldn't hurt to get to know each other better and go from there. Well, that's true. Yeah, I don't think I want her to be a moderator. She's just doing it to go to someone else's channel. Maybe later I'll make her a mod if she really wants to be, but I don't think that's the right reason to want to be a mod. I already did that, Bloomin'. I mean, I don't have anything against her, but I don't want her to be a mod just because she thinks that's the easier way to get to someone else's channel. That's not the right reason to be a mod, I don't think. I mean, I might make her back one later if she wants, but... Yeah, I did. I do too, Bloomin'. Like I said, I don't have anything against her, but why would she want to be a mod just to be able to get to someone else's channel easier? I don't know about that. Oh, she's talking about the go-to feature that the moderators have when they're on a channel. I know, but Too Tall Rob, that doesn't sound like that's a good reason to want to be a moderator on my channel. Not just for easy access to someone else's channel. Yeah, that's true, Jody. I'm not familiar, so we'll wait a bit. Later on, if she still wants to be a mod, I'll think about making her one. But that one statement kind of made me wonder. And she retracted her statements, and I think she left or something. I don't know. I don't see her. Gail Mitchell, I thought I was bored. Sophia, hi, how are you? Okay. That's all right, Althea. You wanted to delete a message, and that's fine. So you got the message deleted, so it's all taken care of. No problem. Still like to have you as my subscriber. Still like to have you on my videos and, in my chats. Just gave other options. Okay, that's fine. I didn't. You mentioned something I didn't even know that you could do. I didn't know that if you were a moderator, you had easy access to other people's channels. I didn't realize that. Right. Well, I'm familiar with you, Bloom, and I know you pretty well as far as knowing you as a moderator from the Hodges channels and Helen White's. So I felt comfortable with you. And then I know you're kind of tight with Gladys, so I felt kind of safe in making her a moderator as well. Bloomin' says, you better know me, girlfriend. You didn't know either, Althea, till lately? Yeah, I'm still learning a lot of stuff about going live. I'm about uploading my videos and everything. So, I mean, I've had a channel for many, many years that got sabotaged years ago. But I never went live on it or anything. I just posted videos and that was basically it. And here a few months ago, I decided to do my channel on my gardening and stuff and composting. So I'm learning all of this YouTube stuff. I went to school for computers. I know a lot about how computers work and all this stuff, programming and one thing another, but YouTube's a whole different ball game. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still learning about YouTube. To drop my link as yet. And see, that's another reason I like getting in these chats. I'm learning stuff every day from the chats. Just like the moderator stuff and going to other people's channel if you're a moderator. I didn't know you could do that. Gail says I type with one finger. Well, it depends on what I'm typing on. If I'm on my keyboard, usually I'm typing with both hands. But if I'm on my phone, my cell phone, and trying to type in the chat, I'm doing it basically with one finger. Because those little touch pads are so sensitive. If you just touch it too hard, you're pressing 2 or 3 different letters, not just one. Well, you have a good night, Bloomin'. I'm getting ready to end the chat. We've been on here long enough. Jody says I went in for a salad and came back with iced coffee. Conversations are over by the time I finish. And see, that's something else I don't know how to do, Althea. I don't have the first idea how to drop my link in a chat of somebody else's channel. Right. Yeah, Mardell might be a good one. I don't really think I need any more moderators. Not right yet. I don't, I'm not having a problem really. It's always good to have a couple because, a lot of times I don't see each and every one of the chats. So I might miss some stuff that the mods might catch. Too Tall Rob says, still hoping one day I get a Bigfoot to visit. Well, there's a lot of people claim there's Bigfoot, and I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos, but they never see close-ups of anything. It's just a far away, distant shadow of this creature. You think with modern technology, any areas where there should be Bigfoot with these, what do you call them, drones with cameras, they could fly it over lots of areas where they claim he's been sighted before. And the camera on that drone could pick it up and he wouldn't even know the drone was up there. Well, that's okay, Gail. Yeah, we've been on here 2 hours. I think that's long enough, don't you? I mean, I enjoy chatting with everybody. I like reading the chats, and you have 12% on your phone. Hope it doesn't die. My phone did die. My camera died one time going live at the very end, or was it one of my videos? The battery on my camera just died. But thank God it was at the end of my video. I didn't get to say, like, share, and subscribe to my videos or anything like that because it just stopped. Three-legged frog was last seen in front of Applebee's. He made it across the street. However, they were sold out of the frog legs. That's pretty funny. Well, you're so welcome, Gladys. Just let me know when you get them. I've got tracking on them, but, it's a good thing to let me know just so I know you are the one that got them. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you for, getting into my chat tonight, getting on my live. I enjoyed it. I love chatting with y'all, talking with you, reading your chats as they go through. I just wish my internet was better, but hopefully it wasn't too bad tonight. So tell everybody you know about my channel. Get them to watch and subscribe. And I guess we'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a blessed evening. Don't take any wooden nickels. Keep coming. Yeah, that's how we get to know one another, is to come into the live chats. Can chat back and forth, find out about people, what kind of area of the country you're from, and a little bit about everybody. I've made a lot of friends since I've had this channel going. So like I said, please tell all your friends, watch my videos, like, share, and subscribe. Have a blessed evening. Stay safe. Love all of you. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye now.